Hello everyone, my name is Kirsten Montgomery, and here is my lesson plan. I chose grade level 2, and I also chose to go with the Christmas-themed activity, or holidays, I should say. So here are my content standards. I am focusing mainly on the motor skills, so moving in open spaces within boundaries, jumping for distance, throwing a ball, participating as a team. So my lesson objectives are given different station directions. The student will be able to toss, run, and participate in at least 3 of the stations provided. Materials that are needed are bells, giant candy canes made out of cardboard, or some type of candy cane decoration. Maybe we can make it together as a class. A basketball and a basketball hoop. The multiple intelligences addressed are interpersonal, spatial, and interpersonal. And for strategies to meet diversified learners, students that speak another language, make sure to provide a safe place where they can use some of their language to understand the material. Make sure students are not being singled out, and as an educator, I will pick out the teams for the students rather than having the students pick out the teams, so no one is picked last and feels left out. Give students any assistance by making sure they have proper form and body positioning. And of course, model all stations for the students so they have a visual before starting the actual activity. So my instructional plan, for the background knowledge, I would start by explaining that it's near the holidays, and if any students have any family traditions or they celebrate anything, I chose to go with a holiday theme one since it is near the holidays. And then I would then proceed to explain the 3 stations for the students. So the first station consists of throwing a basketball into the basketball hoop, but to make it a little more interesting, we're going to put a reindeer face on the basketball hoop, and the children need to throw the basketball hoop as if they're feeding the reindeer. So if they make the basketball in the hoop, they are feeding the reindeer. And of course, the students will be separated into 2 separate teams, and the team that feeds the reindeer the most wins. The second station consists of tossing beanbags at a jingle bell, so I will hang a jingle bell on a high surface, such as a goalpost, and the students will have to toss the beanbag and try to hit the jingle bell as many times as they can. Of course, the team with the most hits of the jingle bell wins. And lastly, is a relay race, so the students will have to run with a giant candy cane and pass it off to their team member, and do that so forth until they finish the race and cross the finish line. The team that wins is the winner, and they get to keep the giant candy cane. So for the informal assessment, I will be checking for students' form when they toss the beanbag in basketball. I will also make sure that children are participating and supporting one another and working together as a team. I will also be checking to make sure that children are aware of the space. For example, when they're running the relay race, they're not bumping into each other, they're not hitting each other with candy canes, and they aren't throwing any bean bags at each other. They're aware of their spatial surroundings. And for closure, I will have candy canes or other type of prizes for winning teams, but of course everyone will receive a prize because it's the holidays and it's fair if every student receives some type of prize. For my formal assessment, I will have rubric cards, and each student's name will be on there with an assessment, and of course I will check mark off the students that are passing certain stations. I chose rubric cards because they help me to see if each student is progressing, and if they are not progressing, I could take a step back as an instructor and try to come up with ways to improve their form, improve my teaching, as well as give any assistance to the child and try to make it harder or easier. So if the student is excelling in these stations, I can try to make it more challenging for them. If the student seems to be struggling, I could make it easier for them, such as lowering the jingle bell or lowering the basketball hoop. So that is my lesson plan. Thank you guys for watching, and happy holidays.